Okay, so I decided to freeze my eggs in Mexico City after a girlfriend recommended a clinic to me that was a fraction of the cost and super beautiful and professional. Obviously, if you might have noticed, I did a ton of research on the costing of the US, which was my first video, and it's around $20,000. Enter into the picture Fertilidad Integral, which is a beautiful facility in Mexico. The facility has state-of-the-art technology, just like the States, and looks more like a spa and a wellness place. And lastly, a big reason besides pricing and professionalism and the facility at large and the technology that they use, I also loved it because they have like the mind, body, spirit integration of fertility. So they offer things like meditation, yoga, massage. The reason my hair is so nice and oiled up is because I got my massage today. And yeah, it's just a really wholesome, holistic place that I've loved the process of freezing my eggs at. But basically, after hearing the horror stories of misplaced blood work, eggs that kept getting transferred between clinics in the US, the absorbent amount of fees, I just was really disenchanted by the US market and decided to come to Mexico City. Have been freezing my eggs with Fertilidad Integral, and it's incredible. And I've been working with them on getting a discount code for the women who are interested in being able to freeze their eggs for a discounted rate. So I will be adding that if there is interest.
Oh, dang, Queen, you chose to freeze your eggs down in Viva la Mexico in this facility because it's basically a spa with egg freezing on the side? Oh man, they gave you massages and they did your hair. Hey, did they read your horoscope too? I mean, I have to ask all the ladies out there who are gonna freeze their eggs just like this one. In your incredible research, which probably lasted about 2 or 3 Google searches, did you stop and research exactly how effective egg freezing is? While this ape hates to burst your bubble, well, not really. Let me hit you with a few Google searches of my own that explains how effective egg freezing and putting your career first is. The first harsh reality that you Queens have to face is the bulk of frozen eggs. I'm talking about like the overwhelming majority do not end up in a pregnancy. In fact, according to a 2018 report from the Human Fertilization and Embryo Authority, HFEA, they found that the success rate of women using their own frozen eggs is about 18%. The NYU Langone study found that 70% of women under 38 who thought at least 20 eggs had a baby. And on top of that, a cohort study found that the live birth rate per embryo transfer was 35% for women who froze eggs at a younger age and had 15 or more eggs frozen. Sister, this isn't a one-time event. You better get used to those spas and going down there multiple times. And so you got your eggs frozen. What's the grand plan? You wait until you're 40 to make an omelet? By that time, you'll be desperate and you're just going to ask the first Chad and Tyrone, hey, can you do me a favor and like throw your sour cream over here so I can make this baby batter? This gorilla finds it amazing that these queens will dedicate themselves to their bosses who could fire them on the spot and not to a husband who can give them a beautiful family. I guess that women indoctrination is strong stuff. Before we move on, I want to bring attention that 70% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. Come on, fam. You've seen my logo on other channels, and you're already here. Please hit that subscribe button and support the channel. It really helps out. Moving on.
Unpack all of my IVF meds with me so I can freeze my eggs in 2 weeks because yes, I'm 37 years old, ain't no man in sight, and I've got to put these babies on ice. I am super excited because I have been looking forward to this for like 6 months. I'm definitely nervous. It's a lot of emotions. I do feel like with every little step of the process, I'm getting back time, which is obviously so valuable to me. I don't feel like I'm racing against a clock anymore. And I am just so excited. Let's see all these meds. First of all, when I went to the pharmacy to pick them all up, they literally gave everything to me in these 2 bags, which is wild. So we're gonna open it all up. I mean, I guess this makes sense. Also excessive. All the needles. More needles. Have Leoprolide, Menopur, Ganirelix. I honestly don't know what any of this stuff means. More of the Menopur. More Menopur.
Does not compute. Does not compute. Does not compute.
That's right, you don't have to adjust your volumes or anything like that. You heard it from this queen yourselves. She actually claims that freezing her eggs at 36 is getting time back. And she doesn't feel like she's racing against the clock anymore. Sister, you're not racing against the clock because the clock has been up for a while. Maybe you didn't know this, but by the time you turn 30, you only have about 12% of your eggs left. That's it. And from there on out, you're just going lower and lower down the count. And you're 6 years past that. By the time you hit 43, 90% of the eggs that you have left over already have factory defaults in them. And guess what? You don't get them refurbished. Isn't it amazing how when you were young and you were indoctrinated into the womanism mindset, they didn't prepare you for all this crap? They didn't tell you, hey, yeah, you know what? When you choose that career, down the road, you're going to have to get 2 bags full of all this kind of crap when you're well past the wall smashing to try to save those last couple eggs for someday that Prince Charming that you're going to deserve because your career is going to get it to you so you can start a family well into your 40s. How's that working? Sweetheart, this girl is going to tell you, you might as well should have saved yourself the money and bought 2 bags of the same size, one full of cat food and the other one full of wine bottles. Every study says that if you're going to freeze your eggs, you got to freeze a bunch of them, and they all have to be from when you were in your 20s. The eggs that you're freezing now are past the expiration date. I mean, all I got to say is that kid omelet you're going to make with these eggs, if you make anything with these eggs, it's going to have its fair share of pieces of shell still in it. But let's see the rest of what she's unpacking.
More Ganna relics, and then let's see what's in here. Lidocaine. Ooh, 2%. And then this is something that needs to be refrigerated. This is gonal. Okay. I already got my pre-ultrasound done and I got blood work done yesterday, and I'm so excited because they said that at the start they like to see at least 5 follicles on each ovary. Your girl had 11 on one and 10 on the other, so we're already winning, which just, again, every little piece is so awesome to hear because it just, again, feels like one step closer to my goal and like I'm getting time back to my life. They do the ultrasound and the blood work at the start of things, which they did yesterday. They call you and leave you a voicemail and say, you're ready to go. Tomorrow night, you need to inject this amount. So that's on my voicemail. Come back for part 2 when I do the injections tonight.
Damn!
Oh, really, girl? OMG, fam, this girl is already winning. Not. Sweetheart, how is you pumping yourself full of all this stuff, going through this entire procedure that has a low probability chance of actually working, and paying thousands upon thousands of dollars, considered it by any way, shape, or form winning? I'm sorry, but this girl really considers this nothing short of a prescription L. I'm talking about you probably walked into that clinic and the staff in there was just hearing cha-ching, cha-ching, we're about to get paid, son. Here's a crazy idea that, although I know we're years past this, but I'm going to say it anyway. What was so wrong about having a family when you were in your 20s? What was so wrong about deciding, hey, you know what? I want to find a guy. He doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to have this extremely long laundry list saying that he has to check every frickin' box in there. And if he only checks off 80% of the boxes, that's settling. Sister, look in the mirror. Look what you're doing right now. A man going for you? That is pure settling right there. You're not getting any time back. You lost your time. I mean, I gotta ask, what's the purpose of all this? So you can jump back on the carousel, write as many sausages as you want, and then you can come back to here and say, oh, I got a frozen egg. Now that I had all the Chads and Tyrones I wanted, I found me the perfect simp to raise a family with in my 40s. Yeah, good luck with that. That's like trying to make a championship chili with week-old expired beef and a can of beans that expired 6 months ago. Moving on.
Oh, God. Is this the update? I had my scan on Monday and I saw an amazing consultant. He was honestly wonderful, and my mum came with me and I got my results there and then. The reason I'm crying is because I got told that my ovarian reserve is low. And that was Monday, today is Thursday. But the reason I'm upset now is it just all sort of hit me because I've got my medical report back and I think it's worth seeing it written in person. I'll read it. Scarlett, we did the AMH hormone, which came back at 10.7. And this is indication of a low ovarian reserve for your age group. However, it is still reasonable for one ovary. Oh, sorry. The thyroid stimulation hormone, TSH, came back at 0.82, which is within the preferred range if you're trying for a baby, which I'm not. Not terrible news, but I think it's just really hard to read something's low. I was kind of expecting it, but now that it's written down in black and white, it just sort of hit me.
Who hurt you?
Well, there you have it, Queens. This is what biology, not men, is screaming at you when you decide to ignore it and listen to womanism. Now, for those of you who don't know what all these numbers mean, well, the AMH level, that stands for anti-Mullerian hormone, is a scale that's used to estimate egg loss in women within age groups. Now, we don't know what her age is, but she did say that 10.7 is low. Did a little bit of research. So I'm going to assume she's somewhere in her mid-30s. Maybe 32, 33, or maybe up to 35, 36. But the point is, 10.7 is actually pretty low if you want to freeze an egg. And by the way, in the age range of mid-30s, the lowest number you can have on that spectrum is 5.5, which is considered drastically low, or 37.4, which is considered very high. Her being at 10.7 definitely puts her on the lower end of that spectrum. And although this gorilla understands clearly that biology had a lot to do with this, what this gorilla is going to say, the thing that had more to do with this was your choice not to have a child when you were younger, when you had a higher egg count. And you want to go through the process of harvesting your eggs, you're facing the reality that you have a low egg count, and it is possible that the few eggs that you have left are factory defective eggs. I mean, let's face it, honey. Your internal equipment, it has wear and tear. It's got some mileage on it. It can't produce quality eggs like it used to. I mean, there's a reason farmers sell their old chickens to KFC. Let's hear the rest of this Queen story. So hopefully it can be used as an example to other women out there not to listen to the wonders of that womanism anti-patriarchy Kool-Aid.
Because everything is so low, part of it is to do that I'm on the pill, and pill basically makes your ovaries sleepy. It's made my ovaries sleepy, which is why not a lot was showing up. So I have to come off the pill for 3 months, wake my ovary up a little bit, and to go on an anti-inflammatory diet, which can help as well. And they've recommended I take folic acid once a day, vitamin D once a day, and coenzymes Q10 twice a day. So I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to look into it. That's the update. He was really, really lovely and so kind, and really listened to me and what I was sort of expecting, what I was finding out about, and was really sympathetic towards my situation. And also just women's health in general. I couldn't recommend this clinic enough. It's called the Eve Well Clinic, and it's in Harley Street. So I have to do this diet for 3 months, and then I can retest, and hopefully something might be a little bit higher, and then we can get going with this egg freezing process. So yeah, that's the update. Probably not the update everyone expected. Well, also, I'm sorry for crying. I just feel like it's really important to be transparent about these things. So, sorry, but not sorry.
Well, there you have it, ladies. The wonders and end results of that womanism empowerment movement. Yeah, be a boss, babe. Choose that career. Down with the patriarchy. You can do everything a man can do. You can put off kids till later in life. Just freeze your eggs. It's working wonders for these queens. I mean, those tears weren't tears of sadness. They were tears of joy. Now, I would like to say that this girl will bring these videos to light and hoping that this could educate some of the queens out there that watch these videos. Or maybe my male viewers can present this particular video to younger women who are thinking, oh, I can freeze my eggs and put off a family for later. The percentage points of you having a family later on in life are below 20%. I mean, for a female-centered science, the win rate really isn't that awesome. And I know that there are plenty of women out there that are going to say, well, I didn't really want kids. I'm happy without children. Oh, there's a study out there that says single women in their 40s without children are the happiest demographics. Yeah, sure they are. What about the studies that say the exact opposite? Oh, those are studies that are rooted in patriarchy. Forgot that portion of it. And if you look at the flip side, which is men in the U.S., what are they doing? Well, you got the passport bro movement. They're outsourcing it. They look at their Western women counterparts and they say, okay, Colleen, you can choose your boss over me or a family that we could have. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to head out to a lesser developed country where women are still traditional and get a wife there and start a family over there. And I don't have to spend $20,000 to $40,000 to freeze any eggs. I mean, queens, don't you see the hustle that's being done here? I'm starting to believe that these fertility facilities must be donating money to keep that womanism movement going because they're making bank on this. But look at the bright side there, Colleens. 18% still means that there is a chance that you're gonna have a baby when you're 42. I mean, the kid could come out having more issues than a Batman comic book, but a W's a W, right?
How dare you?
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.